Okay, and here's number 3. Again, please note that your x's are lined up, your y's are lined up, the equal signs are lined up, and everything without a variable is lined up. Now, looking at this, again, always look to see if any of the terms cancel out right away when you add them together. So -3 plus -6, no, that doesn't equal 0. -10 plus -20, that doesn't equal 0 either. So this is a case where you have to choose a variable and multiply one of the equations by some number so that the coefficients match. So if I'm looking at this and I look at the y's, I would notice that, 10 times 2 gives me 20, and 3 times 2 gives me 6. Doesn't matter which variable you want to eliminate. I'm going to go for x. And so what I'm saying to myself is, okay, how do I go from 3 to 6 for multiplication? I multiply by 2. Remember, the signs have to be different, meaning one has to be positive and one has to be negative. So if this is a negative, this would have to be positive, or vice versa. So since this is the equation I'm changing, and this is a -6, I want this to be the opposite. So I want this number here to turn into a 6. That means I have to multiply the first equation by -2. So I'm going to rewrite my work. -2 times -3 is a positive 6x. So then I do -2 times a -10y. That's a positive 20y. And -2 times -15 is a positive 30. I rewrite the second equation. I didn't do anything to it, so I'm just rewriting it. Now, I'm ready to go to add. So what is 6x plus a -6x? That's 0. This is kind of weird. What's 20y plus a -20y? That's 0. So what do I end up with on the left? 0. Drop my equal sign. 30 minus 28, that's 2. So things I want you to notice here. Doesn't always happen, but in this case it did. Both of your variables went away. They canceled out to 0. And we're left with this equation 0 equals 2. Well, is that a true equation? We've talked about this a lot before we left school and during online learning. When 0 equals 2, is that true? No, that's not a true statement. So what do we say when this happens? We talked about this during substitution. You should tell me that this means no solution. Meaning if you were to graph these two lines, they would be parallel and they would never cross. As a side note, if you did this out and say you got like 0 equals 0, is that true? Yes. So for a true statement, remember we say all real numbers. And what does that mean the graph will look like? That means it would be the same line.